Joana Jankujo's LinkedIn page says she's a private business executive and philanthropist. She was pushed into the limelight by contesting the NDC's parliamentary ticket for the Amanfi Central constituency in the Western North region. This is after she originally won the party's primary held on May 13, 2023. But the results were annulled by the Executive Committee on September 3, 2024, following various allegations that surfaced during the election. But that didn't faze Mrs. Kujo. Her dream to become a parliamentarian was botched when Jedu Frimpong, a native of Amanfi Central, who filed the case in the High Court in Sekindi for an order of interlocutory injunction restraining Ms. Kujo from holding herself as the elected NDC parliamentary candidate for the constituency, and also petitioned the Electoral Commission that she knowingly forged her party card and backdated it so she would meet the 4-year test prescribed in the party's election guidelines. His petition said that Ms. Kujo had 2 different voter ID numbers on the membership ID card she used to complete her nomination forms, claiming that the voter ID number belonged to one Seidu Bala and added a digit to it. Responding to his petition, the Electoral Commission, bound by the court case, disqualified her in a letter dated October 10, 2024, signed by the Deputy Operations Chairman, Samuel Tete. But, refusing to go down without a fight, Ms. Kujo appealed against the Electoral Commission over the petition to disqualify her. Listen to Mustafa Bande, General Secretary of the NDC.
The EC's letter is a fatal error, even though procedurally it's a legal order. But if the EC had engaged, I'm sure that they would have furnished themselves with an appreciation of the fact that the election that saw Joana Jankujo as a parliamentary candidate is not in dispute, is not in court, and there's no dispute about her candidature. And so we took notice of that letter in good faith. We are going to have to get to the Electoral Commission to let her be reminded on the facts of the ground, because the Electoral Commission supervised and actually declared Joana Jankujo as a candidate for the party, that it was supervised by the Electoral Commission. And also in other areas, we should be headed to court to ensure that we adjudicate and see to the final conclusion of this matter. There is no way that we'll go to a parliamentary election in Amanfi Central without representation from the NDC. That would be an injury to the rule of law and democratic practice.
But the High Court in Accra dismissed the application for an injunction against the EC filed by the NDC and its candidate, Joana Jankujo, giving the Commission the nod to go ahead with electoral processes for the constituency.
Well, it's time to bring in the NDC Deputy Director of Election and IT, Dr. Rashid Tanko. Thank you for your time here on Election Brief. First of all, how will this latest move by the party turn the tables for Joana Kujo?
Very well. Dear, let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers.
Good afternoon.
As a party, we've taken note of what happened yesterday at the Accra High Court and quickly instructed our lawyers to file another process at Sekindi High Court, because if you watch closely and then listen to the ruling of the learned judge of High Court, he was referring to an old injunction that initially injuncted Madam Joana Kujo, and then based on the old injunction that would nullify the elections, and then had to conduct a fresh one altogether. So we thought by nullifying the process, the first one, it paved way for all these discrepancies that we're having over them to resolve itself. But when the learned judge referred to it, we quickly filed another process as Sekindi High Court to vacate that old injunction, so that would pave way for Madam Kujo picture to appear on the ballot paper. And we successfully did the filing yesterday and served the Electoral Commission. So as we speak now, the status quo maintained. No process can continue until November 7th, where we will return to court to move the motion to vacate the old injunction that is restraining Madam Kujo from contesting this year election.
And if this new application fails, what's next for the party?
It won't fail. How is it going to fail? Because the petitioners themselves are no more interested in the matter. We have resolved our own internal problem. I mean, the petitioners themselves, they should have gone there. We thought they had taken initiative to vacate it, but they were thinking that because we had nullified it, we have given them the relief they were looking for. Because one of their reliefs was that they wanted the election nullified, and so the Functional Executive Committee took a decision to nullify the elections. And so we're of the view that the court will not have any business on that matter. But since it's still in their books that the injunction was still active, we'll go with them, and then we'll move the motion. Of course, that is the injunction was in their interest. They are no more interested in that, so they'll vacate it. They don't need to belabor that. And then when that thing is vacated, the injunction is vacated, Madam Joana Kujo will continue because Madam is going to win the election for us.
Until the court rules in your favor, Joana Kujo is out of the race. I'm sure you've been engaging her. How is she holding up in all of this?
Oh, she's okay. I mean, she's a strong lady. I've engaged her severally. She's a strong lady. She's okay. She's down to earth. I mean, she's continuing with her campaign. With all these things, she's in the field campaigning vigorously for herself and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And so she's fine. I mean, she knows that she has done nothing wrong. I mean, she was clear in her mind. All that thing that they've mentioned about, when we went and checked, she had a voter ID from Ashanti region. They didn't know that we have done some amendment to our constitution. That shows that you can even use your membership from different constituencies and come and contest in another constituency. Now we are talking of a membership in the party, not a membership in the constituency. That's our old thing. And so people don't know this. And we take this opportunity to educate our public, our members, that look, now that we have amended, we say that if you are a member of a party, you are not only a member in the constituency, but you are a member in the party. And so your activities in the party will show whether you are qualified to contest in a particular constituency. Not that you should be a resident in the constituency and be a member in that constituency. We have gone past that. And so we have spoken to them, and they've realized that they were on the wrong path. And so we'll go on November 7th. And I can assure you, I don't think we'll have any hiccups on that day. And Madam Joana will be back onto the ballot paper, of course, and she will win the election. Look, if the election were held today, she's likely to get not less than 90% of the vote cast in the constituency because of her activities there.
Thank you, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He is Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Well, let's do some other stories now. The Electoral Commission is this afternoon touring some of the printing houses, undertaking the printing of the parliamentary ballot papers. My colleague Kenneth Jesse is on the ground. He will join us shortly just to give us a wrap of some of the areas they've been to and some of the key issues. Meanwhile, we know that the National Democratic Congress, they are questioning why the Electoral Commission has reduced the number of agents political parties can assign to monitor the printing of ballot papers from 6 to 3. Now, this year, the EC is allowing only one party agent per shift, as compared to 2 accepted during the last election. The NDC argues that a single agent cannot thoroughly scrutinize the 24-hour printing process without fatigue hampering their effectiveness. Well, I spoke to the NDC's agent supervisor, Richard Jakpa, on Thursday, and he believes the EC is being diabolical.
For the full CCTV coverage, because you have 24-hour CCTV coverage in the work you are doing in all the places of the printing houses. We will demand for it from the beginning to the end of the duration of the printing, so that we can audit it and see whether there is anything that happened on the blind side of our agents. And I'm much concerned because, say, in 2020, the agents were 2.